So hopefully nobody got fooled on this Michigan-Wisconsin game. Okay, you see this line movement, 10-6. Okay, the reason why it went down so much is because this was a big game for Michigan. Now, what you have to understand is, okay, so Wisconsin, they were playing Michigan here, okay? Now, if Michigan would have won this game, they would have had a chance to still win their conference the next week against Ohio State if they were able to win against Wisconsin. Okay, and if they beat Ohio State, they would win their conference. Okay, so that's the magnitude of this game, of how important it was for Michigan. So Wisconsin basically really had nothing to play for in this game because they already had their subdivision locked up. All right, so this would make Michigan a play, right? Now, the reason why you wouldn't play Michigan in this spot, okay, is because of this line movement. Everybody knew that that had to happen where Michigan had to win, okay? This is why you see this line drop. Now, I'm going to show you this video real quick, okay?
The town. Now, many sharps are calling this an upset alert, as we saw opening spread go from 9.5 down to 7.5 pretty quickly. Totals hanging around at 40. Now, Wisconsin is the last unbeaten team in the Big Ten, and while we won't go so far as to call an upset, we are confident in the Harbaugh squad to keep it close, cover the spread. Heritage has the line.
So, as you see there, everything he said was true, but what people don't understand is people watch videos like this. The public watches videos like this, and they start following these so-called sharp bettors, and what happens is this is where you get the money involved, and this is where people start betting on the underdog, and that is why these lines move like that, and that is why Vegas and these games start to be controlled. Okay, so this line had a lot of money on it. A lot of people were taking Michigan, and that is why the game was controlled for Wisconsin to cover this game. They won 24-10. Okay, and another thing to note on this game, it was tied 7-7 at halftime, right? So we already know that there was more than enough money on Michigan. Now look what they did in the second half. Okay, look at the line that they put out for the second half bettors. Okay, you see how they juiced the favorite at some books at -135. The reason they did that was because they knew they had more than enough money on Michigan, and they didn't want people taking Wisconsin at this minus. You would have to put up 132 to win 100 on this favorite second half, and they were getting plus money, plus 115, plus 121 on the underdog on Michigan, because they knew that people were going to take Michigan. More people would take Michigan at plus money here. So this is how the sports books and the casinos work. Okay, and once you start following people like this, you know, these wise guys, these professional experts, okay, that is when you start getting these line movements, and they are actually the ones that persuade the public as well. You know, they're just like the media, and they persuade the public to follow one side. Okay, so that's why you have to do your own research. All right, so this is why you see this result, 24-10. Okay, they outscored them. They lost the second half, and they lost the game. Okay, so everything he said was true. But once you start having more people involved in the magnitude of this type of game, or the importance, you know, national televised game, everybody's watching, this is the type of result you're going to get. And if you take a look at some of these other games here, like for instance, let's see, a game like this, you see how this line dropped from 9 to 6.5 to 7. And look who won, Coastal Carolina. But do you really think that they care about this matchup? This small Idaho, Coastal Carolina, you think they care about that? You think they care about controlling a matchup like this? No, they care about controlling the big games. Okay, so I'm not saying to follow every line move on these small games. You still have to do your research, but you can see the difference between that type of game and a game like this Michigan Wisconsin game. So I'll be back with another video. I hope this was informative. So comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you then.